Hi, guys. First of all, I just want to say thank you all for coming today, and thank you for um, coming to Homecoming and supporting what we do here, and just being really consistent in supporting our efforts to bridge that cultural gap. Today, I'm really excited because I feel like Odumodu knew that one day we would be sitting here doing this. I think he probably knew that 5 years ago, maybe even longer. I feel like you're one of the few people that I genuinely feel like I can learn from. I can learn so much from you about building my brand, having a vision for myself, self-belief. There's so many levels to inspiration in the way that you inspire me. But also alongside that, you're very provocative. And I don't know, we're going to decide if that's part of your brand today or if that is something else. But in general, so let me tell you a bit of a story about me and Odumodu. So Odumodu, I booked last year for Homecoming, right? He's working with TZ Native Records. He's been doing so many great things. And I was like, we need to book Odumodu. He's so good. Then I went back into my DMs and I saw DMs that he'd sent me years before. He'd been prophesizing what was going to happen for him. He was like, hi, nice to meet you. Can't wait to meet you. Hi, I'm going to play Homecoming. I saw all these messages that were like, huh? Do you know what I mean? How did he manage to tell me what I was going to do without me even knowing? And I learned two things that day. I was like, no matter what, check that other folder on your Instagram. And number two, when people are really manifesting themselves, probably go and listen to their music. Probably go and check their page. Because I was like, I didn't know that you messaged me years ago, right? And look how far you've come. So that was a real turning point for me. So today is really about I really want to have a real conversation with you. I think I'm one of the few people in the world that can. And I really want to celebrate your work, but I also want you to be able to give this amazing next generation tips and tricks and just real insights. Because sometimes you come to panels and it's really fluffy. Oh, you're really inspirational. Oh my God, tell me about your story, blah, 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 blah. Read about that. You can read about that online. I want people to leave today and think, wow, if I think I'm as good as Odumodu, he just said, do this. Do you know what I mean? If I think I'm as good as Grace, she just said, do that. So that's kind of what the main purpose of today is. And I think that you've got a lot to say and you've got a lot to contribute. Yes. So how you feeling?
Yeah, I feel good. We're in good health. Thank Jesus we're here. We made this to Homecoming because I think kudos to you and your team. It's this is the biggest festival in the country. And if it's the biggest festival in the country, that means it's the biggest festival in Africa. And that's amazing. Being here, I always wanted people to know that it's more than the music. The music is just a tool. So many people with wonderful songs, but they're not even being heard because they don't have the personality. They don't have the vision to make an impact. And that's what Homecoming is doing. So yeah, I feel great to be part of it.
Thank you so much. I think there's a lot actually, because sometimes you don't know what you're doing till people remind you. But thank you, honestly, that means a lot. And thank you for supporting us. So let's start with vision. So to me, people say they start their year with a vision board or a mood board or something like that. I think, I don't know, if that applies to you in that way, but I feel like you've got such a clear vision for yourself. I think that you've written out and affirmed what your life is going to be. I feel like you've got somewhere, maybe it's a note or something that tells you what you're going to be. Because when I speak to you, you say, I'm going to do this, and I believe you. Because I've seen you do it in the past. You said you're going to work with TZ. You said you're going to perform at Homecoming. You said you're going to collaborate with Skepta. And you did that all by yourself. So can you tell us a bit about how you create your vision? How do you know what you want to do? I think that's the hardest thing for people to actually figure out. What do I actually want to do? And we'll talk about the steps that you take to get there.
So first of all, anybody who follows my journey knows that God is a big part of whatever I do. And whenever you are stuck as a human being, just go to the Bible. It's there. You know, it's there. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That's to show you how powerful the Word is. Anything that comes out of your mouth. And when you say it and believe it and walk with it, God said that even the birds of the air, He used to give them food to eat. How about you? That's okay, you now, okay. Your son Zakai, the love that you have for him, God loves you 10 times more than that. So imagine you now say you want to do something and you want him to supervise it. There's no way it's not going to work. He has never lied. It's not on my case that he will lie. So he's a sure banker. So when I say I want to do something and I have the map to do it, I must do it. I must attain it because I have the backing of God and He has never failed. There's no way. There's nobody can show me where God failed. So it's not me, Odumodu, that will be the cause for him to fail. And he cannot fail on my case because he loves me 10 times more than you love Zakai.
I hear that because I feel like that is, faith is a way that most people's self-belief comes in. So you've got an unwavering self-belief because of your faith, right?
Yeah.
It's sure for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all clear on that. But in terms of the vision you want to set yourself, how do you do that? Because if we talk about faith, you should know what you want to do to get the back end, right? How do you know what you want to do?
Yeah, it's just like if you plan to fail, how do they say that in again? Fail to plan, plan to fail. You guys get what I'm saying? You know, like you have to check yourself. Say, okay, this thing I want to achieve, how am I going to do it? When I started making music, I used to make rap music with my guys at the World Gang. Like what we're doing today, we've always been doing it, but the sound came in as new to Nigeria. So I was like, this sound, I can remember one time someone was like, Davido is in Lagos, let's go and meet Davido. And I'm like, what does Davido want to do for me? He's an Afrobeat artist. I'm doing something different. Even if he takes me on tour and I'm rapping or singing to his fan base, they won't understand what I'm saying. You get? And I say, okay, my idol, Skepta. Who's the closest person to Skepta? Grace. Who's the closest person to Grace? Teasy. Who's the closest person to Teasy? Bodge. Bodge is my friend. From Bodge, I can get through to Teasy. From Teasy, I'll get through to Grace. From Grace, I'll get through to Skepta. So you have to sit down and say, okay, map out the plan. Follow the plan. Like me now, by God's grace, I know what I want to do in 2027. I know what I want to do in 2026. And that's how every human being should like take on their life. Say, okay, in the next 3 years, next year, this is what I want to do. The upper year, this is what I want to do. Like that. And even if you don't, it doesn't really go as it is. If you sidetrack, you can find it easy to, fall in line. So yeah.
That's a really good advice because I think that sometimes you see what you want in the end, but you don't take yourself back to the steps. So I might say, I want to meet Drake. Okay, so exact same scenario. So I'm like, okay, if I'm going to meet Drake, I know someone at Nocta who knows his manager, who then knows, do you know what I mean? There's steps to it. So sometimes you might be like, and I say this to people all the time, it's probably better to know my assistant than know me. Because my assistant manages my time. If you're friends with my assistant, we're having a meeting. If you're friends with my assistant, she can finesse something for you. Do you get what I mean? So it's not exactly, and that can be applied to anything. It's like, it's not exactly the end result. You're not going for the end result, you're going for the steps, right? And I think that that's a really clear takeaway for people. And I want to talk about rap actually, because I think that was another huge part of your success.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes people, when you're looking at being a musician, I think you were able to identify an area that wasn't oversaturated. So sometimes when you're working in any field, if so many people are there, I usually go there. If something was really packed, I'll go the other way. And I feel like you kind of did the same thing with rap and Abuja, etc. So can you tell us a bit about like that journey of like, basically you put rap and Abuja on the map, right? So can you tell us a bit about that?
So like I was lucky to identify my sound earlier on. And yesterday I stumbled against a reel from Rick Rubin, this Rick Rubin, a producer in America, as an OG. And they said when you make something and people don't like it, then it doesn't have that energy, that force, that conviction of originality, you know? And I was blessed to have that. When I release music, when I started releasing music, I have to tell my guys, I say, I don't want people to get this thing now. I want them to doubt it. It's that polarizing effect that now propels you to where people can see you. Do you get what I'm saying? And rap in Nigeria was not. Let me say, MI made it sweet. Apart from MI, okay, Olamide, you know, there are not so many people that do it like that. So I'm like, let me follow this path, but in my own way. Because if I say I want to go down the route of Fireboy, Oxlade, Joe Boy, to get to the pinnacle is going to be very tough. So why don't we just gamble on this other side that there are not many people and stay in a city where there are like 50 artists compared to a city where there are like 5,000 artists. Like if I'm an artist in Ghana, I'll be so happy. Yeah, because Ghana is like small. You get, and they don't have so many artists that are blown. So like that's an opportunity. So like as an Abuja artist, what am I going to do in Lagos when I can just be the king of my area? Then when the big people now say, who is the king of this area? You know, I say, see him, see his guys, you know. So like bringing those two worlds together, the rap and the Abuja effects, the underdog effect, the polarizing effect, like it just had to work. You know, we're lucky to be to find ourselves in that space where it looked like it was difficult, but all along it was easy.
That's what I'm saying. I think that was your plan all along. So yeah. I feel like you knew that it was going to be easy because it was less saturated, that it was the underdog. I think the underdog mentality is a good thing to think about. Like, I always think it's better to be an underdog because you've always got a chance. You've got more of a chance. Let people not think you're popping. It's better for you. Do you know what I mean? They'll probably give you more of a chance than the other way around. So I think that, like, I really think that those are good takeaways. Like, leaning into the other, if you're like going to start up everything. And it's so funny because Dialab were here before, my sister's brand that I'm wearing now, but she said the similar thing. She was like, everyone was doing this. So they were like, let's just lean back into making clothes from Africa. Do you know what I mean? All made in Africa. Let's lean into the thing that is not as popular, you know. So I think that's really important, and having that kind of being okay to be the underdog for some time, because when it's your time to shine, you will shine, as you are now. Okay, interesting. I feel like your name actually adds to your character.
Definitely.
So what does your name actually mean?
It's like in my culture, in some places they see it as like a demigod, some places like a masquerade. So to bring it together, it's like basically an Igbo demigod warrior, like god of war, like Kratos.
Okay.
You know, so like I'm Kratos in my own land, you know. And when I told my friends that this is going to be my name, Odumodu, they laughed. I was like, yes.
Why did they laugh?
Yeah, when they laughed, I was like, yes, that's what I want. That polarizing effect. Like, what kind of name is that? If anybody says, or if I meet Drake now and says, bro, what's your name? I say, Odumodu. She's gonna, you know. So once you can get that effect on people, whatever comes next stands a chance. And so I say, I'm gonna keep that name.
It's unique.
Yeah.
No one has a name put on it. So let's talk a bit about your, like, I feel like you've been able to build a brand. Like, Odumodu is a brand.
Yeah.
I don't think it's you're a musician. And like, Odumodu has a brand. So one of the things that I struggle with as a person in general is like, I feel like I've got a brand, I am a brand, but I have this thing about pushing it out, right? And I think that you are in a very small space of people with like you, I'll say is there, Virgil and DJ Khaled, where there is no filter on you pushing your brand. There is no way that you will not hear what I've got to say. So can you tell us a bit about where that comes from and is there a way that you do it? Are you like, I must post every time a day, once a day, or like, what is it that makes it just feel like it's a part of your everyday routine? Because it feels so natural to you. It doesn't feel like awkward or like weird. It just feels like it's part of your brand. So can you share that?
So like, I had to step into it. I didn't just wake up one day and start posting every day. Like, it's my guy Ripley. Ripley said, that guy, you're an artist though. You don't have Instagram. I said, hey, I need Instagram. He said, yes now. I opened Instagram. I had Twitter, but I used to say plenty of rubbish. So they blocked all my accounts. Yeah, it's like my 6th Twitter accounts. It was even last year I started using Snapchat because of Charlie Pop. He was like, yeah, there are a lot of fans on Snapchat. And I'm like, okay. So since this tool is very important and this is the only thing I have control over, why not just maximize it? I see DJ Khalid, the day his album drops. Remember I told you last year, same time, homecoming, at the pre-party. I said DJ Khalid drops his album and he posted 16 times on his page. 16. Like, posted his son, posted his food. He just kept on posting shit. And people get discouraged by the likes. It's not about the likes. They can see it.
I can't escape you.
They can't escape it. How is someone who is so blown post his album 16 times in a day? Then somebody that is an artist in Odumodublvck, he'll first delete all his Instagram, say aesthetics. Me now, anybody that wants to sign me or give me a contract, they'll go back to 2018, 17, 16 and see where I'm coming from and be like, yo, this guy is... Same thing with DJ Khaled. As an underdog, that's the only thing you have. And once you have power over it, you misuse it. It's like, back then in Nollywood, you see, I always use this analogy, Patience Ozoko, they say she's a wicked woman. When her stepson is coming, the one that has made it, she'll look at him inside Calabash and they'll make him have accidents and they'll kill him. Now you have a phone that somebody is in India and you can video the person. Is that not voodoo? I'm in Nigeria and Drake can see, if I go live, he can tune in to me and you hear. That's crazy. And that's the luck that them Two-Face did not have. So now that we have it, we have to misuse it. For you to build that brand for yourself, you have to misuse whatever tool you have. Wake up in the morning, if you're not posting on Instagram, you're posting on Twitter, you just have to be in people's faces, because if they don't trust you, they don't trust your product. Some people go for shows not because they like my music. They just want to see me. like if Kendrick Lamar comes to Nigeria now,
Yes, to see you.
I'm not even going there to go and listen to what he's rapping. Let me even see this guy in his elements. Let me know what he's about. So artists, creatives, everybody that has a brand or whatever it is and wants to push it to the next level, you have to take charge. Because if you don't take charge, nobody's going to invest in it. And that's just, even Jesus, when he came, he first picked 12 people and he walked the ends of the earth to go and promote. Word of God was his own product. He was going from town to town.
To push it.
Pushing. So how about us that we don't even need to go from town to town with this phone?
You can do everything from there. You're right. Thank you for reminding me. That's so true. Okay, I think also to add to your brand, you've kind of built a community, like, your gang, your crew is almost like a brand in its own right. And I think that that's also adds to your, your energy, because all the people around you are in their own right doing something interesting. So was that like intentional, or did that just happen? And like, do you agree with me?
Yeah, yeah. You're a team player, and you understand the use of a team. Anybody that finds himself as an artist or a creative if you find yourself in a team, you are so lucky. Like, this is my free to use guys now. Imagine if it was only one person, but there are three. That means 3 people are going down on their knees every day to pray for the same thing. Their mother is praying for the same thing. So many people are connected. So many people's destinies are connected to that one thing. When the file that God used to sign in heaven gets to his table, you attend to them now before you start attending to people that they are saying they want to walk alone, because people have come together. And once you can have that, you are the luckiest person in the world. That's why anywhere I'm going, I try my best. Me and my guys will go
I
everywhere.
know.
We have to be everywhere. I'm a staunch believer in Christ. According to my faith, they say he's God. So if God can come down and pick 12 people to follow. When Jesus was going to, if Jesus was here now, Chris, if he's going to Lekki, he's going with those 12 people. If he goes to mainland, he's going with them. And those 12 people, they had 72 other apostles. So everywhere he was going everywhere. That shows the importance of togetherness. So I have that now.
Team is important. How did you pick your team? How did you go about getting your team together? How do you, like, for someone that doesn't know where to start, like, it sounds great and I agree, it works 100%. I've been there, I've done it. So how do you go about getting your team?
In my own case, I was lucky to like meet everybody.
So you did it in real life?
Yeah, in real life. Like I met most of my guys when we were young. Like Akuna when I was like 10, I met him. Shagba when I was like 10. Gustavo when I was like 7. Black. Even my bouncer there, we met when we were 5.
So that means that other people, the team they need might just be right around them. Sometimes you think you have to go far and you have to reach. And we spoke about it yesterday, actually. Godwin Tom said, don't look up, look around you.
Yeah.
Don't look up, look around you. There's people there that are hungrier than the person that is. If you go up, there's less steps, right? So when you're there and those people are going to be hungry, like I see your social media guy, I tried to book him. You made me want to book your social media person because it's relentless. He's quick. Next day, edits out. I'm like, this is crazy.
And what you said about looking up instead of looking around you is the same thing that applied to Davido. Them saying, like, I'm not saying signing for David is not like he's a great guy, he's my friend, but to benefit me, no. Why am I looking up when I can just contact this guy, Tizzy, that he just opened a record label, first year, debut season. He has a lot to prove. You get? Yeah. And they say, okay, I'm going to bank on this guy. Me too. I have a lot to prove. Because they are, in as much as I don't want to talk about them, there are people on the side waiting for you to fall. And you must only be, what they call it, fake. To say, oh, we don't even want to look left. We don't even want to look right. We're looking front. You must look left and right. Because arrows are coming. So you must go with people that have the same hunger with you to prove a point. So that if anything happens, when I did together.
No, I 100% agree. And I always say that even though everyone thinks that everyone's on different levels, but even for me, I'm like, I prefer to work with people that are, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't really try and work for people, try and reach people that are here because it's easier to communicate. And even with our journey, like, that's how me and Skepta met. Do you want to know how me and Skepta met? Should I tell you? Do you know?
Oh, you never told me.
Me and Skepta met because I was working for Supreme at the time. And they were coming to open a store in London. I wasn't in music. I never wanted to work in music. I had no interest in working music. Never had a dream of being a manager. I was a fan of music. I love music till I die. I love music. Love all music. I'm one of those people. Like Runket in this room. You love music, right? But I had no interest. And then I was like, okay, I've got to book a UK artist because Dipset are coming and Mobb Deep, and we can't come to the UK and be American. So I was like, let me think about who's around. And I was thinking. And I bumped into Skepta at another concert. I went to go and see Danny Brown. And Skepta was behind this curtain here. He was behind the curtain. And I was like, why is he hiding behind the curtain? That's really strange. So my friend knew him. So I said, ask him why he's hiding behind the curtain. And he was like, I don't want anyone to see me and distract from my friend's show. I don't want to be here for him, but I don't want to be seen because I'm going to take away from his shine. I was like, that's good. That's integrity. So I was like, I'm booking Skepta for this equipment. In my head, I was like, tomorrow I'm going to meet this guy. Had no idea. Didn't have his number. Didn't know him. He probably didn't even remember me that day. But I was like, I'm going to meet that guy.
Yeah.
Like, one more day to book someone. I was like, I'm going to meet that guy tomorrow and I'm going to book him. So then my friend Irene had his number. She messaged me. She connected us. I said, like, tell him to meet me at 12 o'clock in Soho. I'm an on-time person, right? So I'm there at 12. I'm at the spot. I'm looking at my clock. I'm like, where's this guy? 12:30. Where's this guy? Then I'm getting angry. I'm like, I've got shit to do. But then I'm like, I'm going to wait till he comes to tell him that I'm angry. I'm going to wait till he comes to tell him that I'm leaving. Because I'm petty like that. So I was like, let me wait for him. And it's now 1:30, right? So then he's coming in. Oh, I'm sorry. And I'm literally like, nice to meet you. I'm leaving. And he's like, what? But I was like, because that's my integrity. I was like, you can't waste. One thing about me, you cannot waste my time. I don't like time wasters. I don't waste people's time. Don't waste my time. And then he was like, no, man, all right, he's like, let's just chat then. Like, let's not waste a moment. And then we ended up speaking for like about 6 hours, just about life, what he was trying to do. He was like, I'm unsigned now. I've got no money. I'm just trying to I'm starting again. And I was like, I really want to break globally. I was like, I know culture. I was like, I know this story that you want to do. I do this for Supreme. I do this for my friends. This is easy. You want to link people here? I was like, let me connect you with some people. So I was like, okay. But the main thing is that he was saying that he wanted to authentically break UK culture globally. And I was like, those three things are important to me. I want to be authentic. I want to break culture. I want to be global. But the most important thing is that I want to own my music. I want to tell people to own their stuff. Like, he went in this whole thing about being exploited. And I was like, ownership is my middle name. Like, I love ownership. So I think that we were just aligned. So we didn't actually officially work together for like 6 months. We were just helping each other. Like, go here, meet my friend No Wave, do this, go to Miami. Don't talk to all these people like Jay-Z, forget them. Go and speak to Rocky, go and meet all these other people that are like on the same level as you. My advice is find yourself in every situation. Wherever you think your level is, find the same person that's doing it at your level. That's my advice to every young person, because as you said, creative to creative, you'll want to connect. Like, oh, he's an up and come. He's next up as a photographer. Boom, I'm a next up. All right, so we're going to blow together, and that's what we kind of did. And I feel like that was kind of similar for what your strategy was. So
yeah, definitely. Because like anybody that knows me, Skepta is like my idol.
Yeah.
Like I went to check everything that he did and try to replicate it, because he did it from a pure place. And that's why it worked.
And that's why this homecoming is so important, and you being here is so important, because when we had a conversation about homecoming with Skepta and Dex and Lash and Wizkid in the car, we were like, let's just build something that allows people to learn from what we did. We just did it. We came and it was like Nigeria was popping, like Altair was on another level. We were seeing everything, and it was like they can learn from our mistakes. Like, we've just done a thing that they're gonna do next. So that is really like an important 360. But anyway, so let's carry on. So okay, I know that this is important, but I feel like just as a person, I'm a fan of you, but I do think you're provocative as a person. I would say you're provocative and you can be problematic, right? But I want to know, is that an intentional characteristic of your brand, or is that you just being you? Do you intentionally go out and say, I want to be provocative as a character in your brand, or is that just like how you are as a person?
Okay, so like it's like a blend of two worlds. And myself, I don't wake up in the morning to say, Odi, be provocative today. For most part of it. Some other days I'm like, let's fuck shit up. I'll give you an instance. I recorded MC Oluomo December 22nd, I guess, or thereabouts, the day after Messi won the World Cup. And I think I'm the biggest Messi fan ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I dedicated that song to Messi. And when I spoke about it, people were like, yo, you're crazy. What are you saying? It's just like Declan Rice. Declan Rice is not about Declan Rice. It never has been about Declan Rice. It's just like someone saying, I'm going to disturb you like Satan. It doesn't mean I'm hailing Satan, you know. And I released the snippets for him to learn more. People were like, oh, mad, 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 mad. And I woke up the next day and I was like, when the song was about to come out, I was like, how am I going to promote this song? Everybody sees MC Oluomo as a radical guy in Nigeria. I said, okay, so for this song to be on brand, I have to take the radical and provocative look. And I said, for those of you who think MC Oluomo is about MC Oluomo, something is wrong with you people in the head. Bear in mind, on the internet, I'm like a villain. If you open the internet now, you see somebody insulting me. It's like, yeah, you understand? But it's part of it. And that's what artists need to understand. That's what creative needs to understand. If they're not insulting you, then business is not booming. If I wake up one day and see everybody saying good things about Odumodu, then there's a problem. Then is that be that kissing ass? Or I'm not being myself. You know? And when I did the test run and I said, this community of people, they don't like me. Even if I'm not doing what they're not meant to like me for, like consciously. You know, I say, okay, normal people, they want to try and get them on their good side. I say, no, I'm a hip-hop artist. I can afford to be a villain. Fireboy can't really afford to be a villain because music is about love. Same thing with Oxlade. It's about love. But I'm like Tupac. I'm like Notorious B.I.G. You know, if you don't like me, what's up? You come for my team, I come for you. Business.
Okay.
You know, all those, we come out in the open. You see me. When you see me, you look at your shoe as if you do not see me. No. I'll come and meet you. Hello, I saw you, saw me. How are you? You know, that's what I'm trying to bring into the game. You know, the mix of both, like being myself and sometimes just a little fire here and there. You know?
Okay, now I know it's a bit of both. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So we're gonna get some questions from the audience in a minute, but I wanted to ask you, like for young people that are like looking at you and thinking they want to do the same thing, I think one of the most important things that I don't think you're gonna do is take your culture out of the mix. So can we talk about how important it is to like authentically, especially with the conversation of Africa, music from Africa, and I don't want to be classed as this and I don't want to be known as that and all of that stuff that's going on. How important is it to be authentically African right now?
Yeah, so like right now I have a song with Heady One.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a song with Heady One.
Is it good?
I have a song with Storms Is Crazy. I have a song with Storms. I have a song with Chipmunk. I have a song with Skep. And the reason why these people came to me to do the verse is because of how I sound. And how do I sound? Like a proper Nigerian who went to school. And it stays in the lyrics, blood on the dance floor, Odumodublvck, Falafolo, Decipher Konji. That's bringing the end of the bougie world and the end of the ghetto, you know, mashing it up together. And that's what excites people. The fact that Adenuga can listen to my music and a bus conductor can listen to my music, that's what gives me joy. So when I go outside the country and I Dad, why do you sound like this? I say, this is how I've always been sounding. This is how we sound at home. But I'm not trying to form like I came from the trenches. Did you get? Some artists wanna act like you came from the trenches. Brother, you were eating morning, afternoon, nights now. Don't come and be dragging poverty swag. That's why I make sure in my music, I try to make them know that, this guy went to school, you know, and at the same time, he was lucky enough to taste small street life. And in the music, you must communicate that to people and let them know that, Omo, this is where you're coming from. This is what you are about. And if you don't maintain that, one day you will fall off. You know, anything you start with, ride on it. Like how we're talking about being provocative. From the first day I came into the music, artists every day they come say, are you sure you should twist this one? Are you sure you should not delete this one? I said, Tizzy, don't worry. Let me already set this standard for myself as the guy that does not give a shit. So when I start, they'll say, don't worry, now so in day. If Fireboy comes tomorrow and from his heart, speaks from his heart, and he's angry, everybody say, shut up. Do you think you're Odumodu? But the boy is just angry, bro. So me, I'm already giving myself the right to be angry.
You showed us your worst card.
Since day one. You know,
Okay, that's smart. I hear you. Okay, I've learned something today. Do you have any questions for me before we get to the audience?
Okay, so
As it's supposed to be a conversation.
I always hear you talk about being global. And to be fair, yeah, it's Tizzy that made me understand that. You get, so how do you put yourself in a situation whereby you can propel yourself towards being global? Like the other day, I saw you are talking to Drake. Bro, why you dey talk to Drake? Like, why is Drake talking to you? And I know that, okay, affirmations and all that, but to carry it out, like, how do you meet these people?
Yeah. That's a
that's
really
the
good question, but I'm similar to you. That's why I like you. And that might be provocative to people, but I met Drake because, funnily, before I started working with Skepta, I was like, OVO have just done what we did in the UK. OVO, no one knew about Toronto till Drake, let's be honest. No one cared about the Six. Nobody. So I was like, they put the Toronto on the map. We're trying to put UK on the map. Like, who was behind that? And then I realized that it was his manager, Oliver. Oliver, who's got one of the best airs in music. If you can get Oliver to forget DMing Drake, DM Oliver. If he says he likes your song, it's a hit, right? And he's got the best air in music, in my opinion. So I was like, Oliver, and he's also a culture guy. So that was the first wave of like cultural managers. So we had Kanye, who had like his culture team, but then Drake also had people that were positioning him, like helping him do stuff. So I was like, okay, let me speak to Oliver and tell him that I've got this artist that I know called Skepta, and I'll share the email I sent to Oliver today online. I gave him a breakdown of the UK. I was like, oh my God, we have like an artist called Skepta, Stormzy's really cool, Novelist, Jay Haas, I was just gave them a breakdown like 10 years ago of UK culture. And I sent it to him. And I also had previously messaged him on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, but someone gave me his email and I sent it to him. And then he was like, oh my God, like, let's meet. I'm in LA. Do you want to have dinner? So I met him. And I was just telling him about like UK culture. They were like, we want to come, we want to do something. I was like, do this, do that. I was of service to him. I was of service to Oliver being big in the UK without asking him for anything. I didn't say I want to meet Drake. I'd never in my life have said that. I was like, UK, you should come, you should do this. Oh my God, these are all the things. And I was just helping him to come. So we just maintained the real friendship. Oliver's my friend to like forever, right? So we just were really talking. And then when they came to the UK, like you, I was the first person they called. They were like, oh, we want to come. Like, what should we do? Where should we stay? What should we do? I was like the plug, because I had a value. I knew what I knew really well. I knew culture. I knew connecting. I know how to make things happen. I know I'm obsessed with things, so I've got good taste. So people respected me and believed in what I said. So then one time, then progressed. We did wireless with Drake. It was amazing. Skep and Drake were not really friends at that time. Like, they were cool, but they weren't like hanging out, right? And then I met Drake myself, and then I was just telling him like, oh my God, there's this show called Top Boy. You should watch it. Like, Top Boy, it's a really good show. It's like you can only find it on, like you've got to sign up to Channel 4. You've got to do it. But
yeah.
And the one thing I love is when I say something really good, because I give people free tips all the time. If I say something to you, you ask me something, I'm telling you really what I think, and I think I'm excellent at that. That's what I think I'm good at. I think I'm very good at knowing what people should do. So he was like, I want to do stuff, and these guys like, you should watch Top Boy and do something with Top Boy. And he actually did it. He did it. Then he called me one time. I don't know how he got my number, but he called me and he was like, oh my God, I just watched Top Boy. I want to try and buy it on Netflix. I was like, cool. Moved on. Then we just from there became friends genuinely, because we had that rapport. Then I was like, I want to come to Toronto. We want to do something with OVO. So it was a mutually beneficial friendship. And it's so funny. Banco said that yesterday as well. It's like, most things are mutually beneficial, but people don't say it out loud. They just say like, oh, I'm going to help you or whatever. But if you're helping someone, ask for a favor back. There's no harm in that. Like, you're helping, you're doing everything. Are you, is it charity that I should make you now go and buy Top Boy and earn X amount of millions? But I can say that OVO and Drake have really helped us, me and Skepta, for sure, in our career and our trajectory. So I feel like it was a mutually beneficial friendship. But we're still friends now because we get on. And now he's like, Grace, I need to come back to London. What should I do? That's what he's asking me. He's like, I need to come back to London, man. I miss London. What should I do in London? He's not calling an artist. He's calling me. He's not calling, do you know what I mean? He's not calling Jay Huss. He's not calling Skep. He's calling me because he thinks that I know more. So I'm saying that sometimes even as people, we think that we have to be, and I was saying this yesterday, there's an ecosystem of culture and creative culture. You don't have to be the artist, the photographer. You don't have to be the person. You can still bring your value to the ecosystem. There's so many jobs in the ecosystem. I said yesterday, one time I did a pay run for Skep, and we had to pay in 1 month 500 different people, from a stylist to a photographer to an art director to a graphic designer, tour manager, stage lighting, That's 500 people that are in his ecosystem profiting of what he's doing, right? So think of the ecosystem and how you can add value. I actually know loads of artists because they trust me with the thing that I know, like you. You probably trust me in the thing that I know well. If you were like, Grace, I really want to push, I need a bit of advice on this, you'd probably trust what I want to say. So be really good at what you do. Like, if you do your thing, if you've got your thing, be really the best at that one little thing that you can add to the world. You don't have to do everything. That bit I do better than I am as a manager or a festival. That bit's never going to leave me. That bit drives everything that I do. So I hope that answered your question.
Bless.
Okay, so we'd love to have a couple of questions from the audience. First of all, thank you, Odumodublvck, for your time. I appreciate that. Really honest conversation. And we've got a couple of questions. Anyone got any questions? No questions? Are you sure? I'm shocked. Maybe you answered it so well. Don't be scared. Another thing. Learn from Odumodublvck. Don't be scared.
Hi.
Hiya.
I've got a question. Why the white and red hat? Because, oh, okay. Hi. I've got a fashion-related question. So why the hat? What made you go for that hat? Because now, if anyone sees that hat, they instantly think of Odumodublvck, and I think that's one of the most best example of branding and how you can stand out as an artist. But why did you personally go for the hat?
Okay, so my guy's mom gave me the hat one day, and I wore it out, and I just knew that I had to keep it because, as an artist, for instance, if you are on SoundCloud and you see an artist, okay, you finish listening to Davido, you listen to Wizkid, and the next thing you see an artist, Fiji Baby or Fiji Money, music, Kapaiche Marichupako, you the fuck is this? You change it because you don't know that person, So I was like, okay, before they know your music, let them know you. That's why I'm very vocal on the internet, because if you're not listening to my music, you'll probably see me in the news somewhere, 2 days ago, I saw a post about this same hat that you're talking about. They're like, if your girlfriend wears this kind of hat, is this a reason to break up with her? Cause for the mood, those kind of stuff.
So the conversation.
Yeah. So
all the time.
So I was lucky to have that as part of my branding. Cause as an artist or a creative, your branding is the number one thing. There was a time Wizkid did not drop music the whole year. He did only features, and all of them were slappers. Why? It's Wizkid. Sometimes you just want to listen because it's Wizkid. So I was lucky to have that hat, and I was like, okay, since this is going to help my brand, and till I die, I will deal with this thing.
Yeah, but you wore it every day. You did take that hat off, and it's hot. It's hot here. It's hot in Nigeria. You're still wearing it. I'm like, is this boy not hot? But that's consistency, right? You're consistent. I feel like one of the things you are is consistent. You are consistent at everything you do. So I think that makes sense. Any other questions?
Question. What was the industry? What was the industrial machine?
What is
Industrial machine.
industry machine? Okay, so I like that question.
Question.
I use the opportunity to thank everybody that came out here to listen to what I have to say and what Homecoming has for us. Industry machine. It came to me Christmas. You see, my producer is here, and he played the beat. And you know how music is. Sometimes you just open your mouth and say stuff that you never even thought about. It's like when I recorded Declan Rice, I didn't go to the studio to go and record Declan Rice. I was in the studio and God gave it to me. Same way he gave me Industry Machine. And a lot of times it's after I've said these things, I go back and realize what I just said. Industry Machine is the guy that came into the game in 1 year and did what people took 5 years to do. Industry Machine is the guy that has the highest amount of features in 2023. Industry Machine is the guy that makes Afrobeat, drill, rap, crime. Industry Machine is the guy that promotes his music by himself. Industry Machine is the guy that makes sure his guys and his team are with him and they are eating and feeding off whatever work that is being put in. You are an industry machine. You carry an industry machine. If you are a creative, you are an industry machine. Because what?
How do I get here?
Imagine the industry as, forget the industry now. Imagine the industry as a machine. You know? Because of what you are doing. You are like the steering. Me, I'm the chair. Him is the bonnet. Someone else is the this. So I look at myself as the guy that has all those qualities in one. Whatever TZ wants to tell me now, as a manager, I've already had a hint of it in my head. I might not have the whole clue, but I already have the managerial instinct to say, Omo, I think I should move like this, so, you know. Whereas some artists, they need someone to tell them to do it, so that when he tells me something, I say yes. So I don't the reason I'm going to say, guy, well, I lied. You know, as I'm doing that, I'm also trying to position my DJ. You know, as I'm doing that, I'm also trying to sing a song like Oxlade. I'm also trying to rap a song like Tupac. Yeah, that's what the industry machine is. And I use this opportunity to drop my next project called Industry Machine by Odumodublvck and the Anti-World Gangsters. I wanted to name it Industry Machines before, but that just
Didn't sound the same.
it doesn't buttress togetherness. So I say all of us come together and be that guy that I think I am on my own. And a lot of people here are that person. Some people here, they're working in office, they have another business. That's an industry machine. You are doing 2-3 things at once. You are a machine. So like, that's what it means. So as your machine they go, they always put fuel inside. Yeah, always fuel it.
There's actually, while we think of one last question, maybe there's actually 2 questions I wanted to ask you. So when I first came to Nigeria, I was like, there's 3 pillars to Nigeria: religion, music, and football. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you occupy all those spaces?
Yes. But some people don't agree with you on the football terms, but that's their business.
Yeah, but you're in football. You're doing footy chat on Instagram. You know what I mean? You're talking in football. You've got a song with you got Declan Rice to post you.
Yes.
You spoke to the whole of like the England team and the whole of the Arsenal team and West Ham.
Yep.
Because of a song. You're speaking to a new audience through football.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So,
Word.
So that is important. That's the same. When I worked on a Nigeria jersey, it was the foot. Like it wasn't about football.
Yeah.
It was about the culture, the people that I want to reach with the jersey that don't care about football. I like TZ made me care about football. Like I can really watch a game now, like end to end without, you know, I've got a very short attention span. So if I'm not there in real life, it's very hard for me to focus.
Yeah.
But I can watch a game. I loved cultural football, but watching it. So I'm like, when we made that Nigeria jersey in 2018, it was like, let's not talk to the people about in football. Let's talk to everyone else. And that's why it worked.
Yeah.
It works because everyone in around the world thought the jersey was amazing. Non-Nigerians were looking into Nigerian football because the jersey was so fire, and it embodied like the jersey, the campaign, everything about it was all connected to music, fashion, etc. So I think that you should think about other areas you can occupy outside of the thing you do. Like, you do music, you do brand, cool. What about the other areas that are around that you really like? It's got to be like things you like. You're going to have to involve yourself into it. So it's hard. You see it when people try and fake it. It doesn't really last long. But the things that you like actually become part of your bigger brand. And I think football is part of your bigger brand.
Yeah, definitely. Even when they listen to my music, I have a lot of football references, you know, like, and people think it's just because I like football, but like you said, it's like a cultural avenue. Like, if Nigeria is playing a match today, the whole nation is on standstill. That's an avenue to like preach whatever you are doing.
Yeah.
If you can relate yourself with stuff like that, like when Nigeria were playing now and the day we beat Angola, the Nigerian national team account posted me on their
Of course
page.
they did.
You know?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. With
Yeah.
the music, the cultural impact, and that's what we're after. That's
Because
what
I
I'm
think
after.
football is bigger than music, in my opinion.
Of course.
So
Of course it's bigger than
why
music.
not enter a bigger space?
Of course it's bigger
You
than
knew
music.
that they would probably, I think you know this already, so I like the like humble, but I know you know what you're
Yeah.
doing.
So that's why I use this as a tool to communicate my music. The way football is bigger than music, it's the same way religion is bigger than music. And I'm a big believer. And in as much as my lyrics, because of the line of business I do, are kind of provocative, there's something inside here that nobody can take away from me. You know, and that's my relationship with God. And it will do me more good than harm to encourage people to follow my religious path. You know,
It's a
because
cool one.
it's preaching love, it's preaching, you know, stuff like that. And the football too, that brings the whole country together. If Boko Haram are fighting, army are fighting, if Nigeria are playing match, there's a high chance that there will not be any fights in that period because everybody is watching that game. So like everything goes hand in hand.
I agree.
Yeah.
So don't go and do football, but also there's an opportunity. If we talk about underdog, I feel like basketball is an opportunity in Africa. If I was going to do a sport right now in Nigeria, I'd play basketball.
You also play basketball.
I'm going to play on Saturday. Are you playing?
Sorry?
We're doing basketball on Saturday. You going to come?
No,
Doing good.
I'm not good in basketball.
Okay. So play football
I
tonight.
know the rules, I can play, but I'm not great at
Fair
it.
enough.
You know, and it would be nice if
Someone else does that.
it would be nice if it grows in Africa because like I'm a big basketball
But there's
fan.
huge potential. 'Cause it's,
Yeah, it is.
It
And
has
there's
to.
money there.
It has to. So any other questions before I ask my final question?
Yeah, I have a question for both of you. As someone that's worked closely with both parties here, I'd like you guys to kind of let us know, you know, in the times when things are not going the way you want it to, in the down times, what are the driving tools to get yourself out of a slump? I know, Odumodublvck, social media, all the battering that you get for some things that happen. What helps you get over the storm, Grace? I know obviously in the business realm, if things don't go as planned and sponsors for what are the things that still drive you guys to be top performers and to be successful at what you're doing, even when the odds are against you?
I'll go first. We can't mention religion because that we both agree that is that.
Yeah.
That's not that's happening anyway. Okay, so for me, most things don't happen as I plan. Like, actually, us being in this room today wasn't supposed to happen. We weren't supposed to do homecoming. We didn't get the sponsors. Do you know what I mean? Nothing was happening like as it should, like as I'd planned. I had a beautiful plan for homecoming this year. Not one thing that I planned happened. But what I allow myself to do is like go back into my purpose, say like, what am I trying to do with homecoming? And I went back to it. I was like, amplify artists from Africa, share knowledge, equality. Do you know what I mean? No hierarchy. Everyone in the same room on the same level. And then I just was like, you know what? If I do that, I can still have a homecoming this year. And Teaser, you know, people in this room know how hard it was to do. You know, we had a big plan, so right? Not one thing happened, but if you can find your purpose or what you think your purpose is, you can always go back to it. And things, this outcome might not have happened at all, and that's still okay. It doesn't change my purpose, right? But I know that I'm on a journey to make sure that I stay within my purpose. And for me, my purpose is like to answer one question. If our son was born here, when he's 18, I want him to have a job here. So what steps do I need to be part of for that to happen? What do I have to do, or what do I have to go through, or what sacrifice do I have to make for my son to be his mum or his dad or you without no struggle? I don't want to struggle. We're not doing this for struggle for the next generation, right? So that's what I'm trying to answer. It's really my purpose is like, how do I empower economically, young people, especially people here? Because that's what I just did in the UK, but I didn't have the same we weren't as hot. The UK is slow. Nigeria is huge. I've got more chance of impacting here than I do in the UK. I've got more chance of people listening to me here because it's still growing. Your music industry, you still don't have music law. You don't have laws and policies created. Do you know what I mean? There's still so much potential for things to happen. So I have more chance of impacting here than I do in the UK. So I made that decision. I switched. I was like, I've done it in the UK. That was my case study. But this is the purpose, but it's all the same thing. I'm just doing it over and over again in different ways. So, but that's a really good question, too.
So mine, apart from the purpose, which is the strongest thing, obviously, the end game. What are we striking at? Is my own resolve for it is I always brace myself for impact. It's like a drug dealer who doesn't have money stored to shoot the police when they catch him. Then you are not ready. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm a public figure. People are always going to say stuff about me on the internet. Before they even said it, I've already braced myself
You're ready for it.
for such impact.
I'm not. I'm sensitive.
I've already braced myself for such impact. And to whom much is given, much is expected. Once you understand the rules of life, that this thing is not going to be easy. Like they say, if sun does not beat your back, your stomach cannot eat. So when things are happening and they are not going according to plan, I always remember that, this one is part of the script. It has to happen. It's not always sweet and rosy. This is how it's meant to be. For instance, Woto seasoning. Ask Abbas now. I did that trip. 9 shoot Woto season. When I recorded Woto season, I knew the song was so great that God had given me something. The next day, I shot a video without Season's approval. Wow. He just woke up in the morning, saw his artist video on YouTube, song leaked. I was disturbing Closey, take down the song. So the guys that leaked it now took it from YouTube. You understand? And they dropped it on Apple Music. Till today, it's still there. So I said, okay, what are we going to do to bounce back? Now things are not going as planned. Let's feature Ashake. We feature Ashake, amazing verse. Time to drop it now. They say he wants to drop this, we cannot clear this, which is not his fault. The game is the game. So what do? I go and miss Black Sheriff. Black Sheriff was meant to be on Declan Rice. But the same thing that happened with Ashake happened to him.
Oh no.
And thank God he was not on Declan Rice. Before they go say, now Black Sheriff, now he make Odumodublvck. And I went to Miss Blacko. I said, see, me and you must do something together. I'm not saying it because I want to blow or for you to blow. No, this thing is from God. We must do something together. So that disappointment that happened, it was already part of with Ashake. It was already part of the script. And today, I will take Woto season with Black Sheriff all day ahead of Michael Jackson. Because that was what it was meant to be. And Blacko came with the hardest verse in Ghanaian history.
Yes.
I put my money, I put my money on it, tear them down into pieces. The hardest verse in Ghanaian history. Bring which verse? Follow me talk with your gibberish. Coco, why you never listen? No. And you know, stuff like that makes me understand that guy. When things have happened like that, when
know,
it repeats itself again, I say, I don't see
Yeah.
this one.
So it's like trust the process. Know that
Thank you.
there's a process to it, and I think that's what we're both saying. Trust that process. Know it's gonna pivot. No, you have a plan on paper. It's not gonna go like that. Nothing ever actually goes to plan, but trust the process, and it will get you to the end
Yep.
result. But thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Amazing, amazing.
So much.
Big round of applause. I think we've definitely taken away so much. Thank you, Odu. Thank you, Grace, for taking the time and sharing your insights with this unique opportunity. I think we really learned so much about taking something in your head and putting that into reality. So thank you so much. Can we please give our panelists another big round of applause?